Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me. This is another Changing Lives webcast. I'm Don Clayton. I'm the Chief Talent Officer at FranServe. We are the world's largest franchise consulting and expansion organization. Today, I have with us one of our beloved certified franchise consultants, Jessica Hoff. She is with Focus on Franchising in New Jersey. Jessica's been affiliated with FranServe now for 2 years. So we're super excited to have Jessica. Thank you for joining me today, Jessica. I appreciate you very much.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate the invitation.
Yeah, you're very busy on social media, and I love to, take a look at what people are posting up. And there's so much information out there now. And one of the things that you put up recently on social media was about franchising being the great equalizer. Franchising is
That's
the
right.
great equalizer. Yeah. So tell me why you posted that, and tell me, what does that even mean?
Because I believe it to be true. And what it means is that you don't have to worry about your background. You don't have to worry about your age. You don't have to worry about the color of your skin. You don't have to worry about any of that. The things that traditionally can hold people back in the workplace, you don't have to worry about that with franchising.
Yeah. And so when you are working with your candidates, and let's just say that you're working with someone, this had been many, many years ago, and you're working with someone in their early 20s, probably franchising would not have been a good option for them because decades ago, franchising meant millions of dollars of investment. But now you've got so many different options in such a variety of categories with various investment levels. I've worked with a lot of younger people in their early 20s that have chosen not to go to college, but rather invest in a franchise concept as an entrepreneur. And now the franchisor is like, yeah, sure, we'll work with them. There, we have opportunities for less than $50,000 all in. So you're right about franchising being the great equalizer when it comes to all different types of parameters. Have you had any experience working with candidates, whether it be age or demographics or what have you, that perhaps you would like to share with the audience when it comes to franchising being the great equalizer?
Yeah, I think that's true when you're talking about young people. But for me, I think about it with older people. I mean, it's true for everyone, but and I can speak about my own personal experience. I unexpectedly quit my job at the age of 57. And because I didn't have a plan, I did what I always did in the past. I started applying for jobs. And I started my career as a classroom teacher, so I started looking at, okay, I'll update my resume and consider going back into the classroom. But when I started doing that, I thought, I just don't think I can work that hard anymore at 57. And so then I started applying for jobs. And what I learned from applying from jobs is it is a whole new world out there. They want you to make a video of how you're going to sell something. Because I was in sales for many years, so I thought I'll just look for sales jobs. Make this video on what your technique is. I don't know what my technique is. I know that I can outsell anybody, but it was just a whole different process. And I think that I talked to a lot of older people. They're either retired and they're bored, and so they want to come out of retirement and buy a business, or they were like me, 57, and nobody wants them anymore because of their age. And they're not going to come out and say that, but that's the experience. I was being interviewed by 20 somethings. They didn't want me. They didn't see the value that I brought to the table based on my experience. That was not even a consideration on their part.
Perfect. I mean, because what you just explained is very common right now. A lot of people are
Oh, yeah.
seeing that. And you know what? What you're saying, I'm gonna summarize. What you're saying is that corporate America is not the great equalizer, but
No.
franchising is the great equalizer. And you're right. And by the way, when you said 57, I'll correct you. You meant 37 because you don't look a day over 37. But you're right about that. And we work with candidates all the time, Jessica, on and not just in their late 50s. I'm talking early 40s, where that are not being accepted. They're not being appreciated with the skill sets they bring to the table.
That's right.
And we work with them, and the franchisors are like, yes, we would love to speak with you because we want to take our model, the franchise model, and we want you to incorporate your skill set, what you've learned over the
That's right.
years, your personality, and incorporate it into our brand. And let's go be successful together.
That's right. And corporate America has no interest in that, shockingly enough. But I think the world of franchising, they're, they know that that's really what the best thing is. All of that experience, all of that
Yeah.
knowledge. A lot of the
Yeah.
people that I speak with have already been business owners, so why wouldn't you want that on your team? That's one thing I'll never
Right.
understand. Why wouldn't you want that on your team? But I think the franchisors are smart in that way. And they do want those people on their team for sure. They
Yeah.
want the energy of the very young people who don't have all that experience. But a lot of young people these days want to get into business ownership and they want that experience of the older people also, the 40-year-olds, the 50-year-olds, and the 60-year-olds. They want all of it. I think it's a smarter way to go. They want all of it.
They do, and it's only going to help their brand succeed, and it's better for the community as a whole, especially when you're looking at franchise opportunities that require community involvement. When you're in your 40s and 50s, oftentimes you have that community involvement, and so you have those
That's
connections that
right.
you can have. And not every franchise is something that you have to go into full time. So, you're talking about a lot of people who are laid off or getting laid off, but what we are experiencing is, Jessica, is as consultants, is that a lot of people in corporate America that are in their 40s and 50s and even early 60s are realizing that their time is short in the corporate world. And so what they're doing is they're coming to people like you, Jessica, as a certified franchise consultant with FranServer. They're saying, look, I need something now. I don't need to wait until I get laid off. I need something right now that can help me transition when I do get laid off, or when something does happen. I need something that I can be working on right now, part-time or semi-active, while I'm still employed, so that when I do get laid off, I can take a breath and say, whew, at least I'm not like the person next to me in the cubicle that just got laid off and has no income stream.
And
At
has
least I have an
nothing.
income stream. Yeah,
That's
at
right.
least
And
I have.
I love those kinds of people because there are lots of opportunities out there that you can start in a part-time capacity. And I love that. I love that for them. Yeah, and I love
There are a lot.
introducing those brands.
Yeah, me too. And there are a lot of people probably watching this webinar now that are in that exact boat. They are
Hmm.
exactly where we are talking about. And they want to talk to somebody. Jessica, I can't think of anyone better than you for them to speak to. If someone's
Thank
listening to
you.
this, I'm like, listen, I want to talk to Jessica. First of all, you got to follow her on social media. She puts up some amazing content. But Jessica, if someone wants to reach out to you, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
They can give me a call, 908-208-6873, or they can shoot me an email. My email address is jessica@focusonfranchising.com.
Jessica, with Focus on Franchising, thank you again so much for joining me here today. My name is Don Clayton. If anybody wants to get in touch with me, you can always just reach out to connect@franserve.com, connect@franserve.com. But Jessica, thanks again for reaching out and joining me today. And I appreciate you. And for everybody else listening, enjoy your day and have a fantastic week.
Thanks for having me, Don.